Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be focusing on meals. Really, we're going to be doing two things, meals and then some food. Maybe we'll do a little bit of grammar, we'll see. Okay, so what do you do for meals? You eat. Eat. Or it's also the same sign for the word food. So eat or food. Drink. That's drink. You can use that same sign for beverage. So the verb or the noun drink. So in the morning, you have breakfast. Breakfast. Or you can say morning eat. In ASL, that means the same thing as breakfast. You would eat in the morning. But it's more common to say breakfast this way. So breakfast. Next, we have afternoon eat or lunch with the L on the chin just under the lip. So that's lunch. Or you can say afternoon eat, lunch. Both are fine. They mean the same thing. For dinner, you have a D just under your lip. Or you could say night eat or evening eat. So that's dinner. If in your home you use the word supper, that's fine. You can do your S on your chin just under your lip as well. So that means supper. Okay, great. Okay, so now we know the names of when we eat, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and supper, whatever. But what do we eat for those times? Breakfast? Maybe you prefer bread. Bread or toast. Maybe you like your bread or your toast with some peanut butter or nut butter. Really, that's a sign for nut. And then that's a sign for butter. Or jam. Maybe you like some jam with your peanut butter or your toast. Maybe you like some eggs or bacon. Perhaps you prefer sausage. Or cheese. That's cheese. For lunchtime, what do you eat? Maybe you would eat a sandwich. A sandwich. Maybe you'd have some French fries. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. F-R-I-E-S. There we go. Maybe you'd like some crackers. Cracker, and then maybe you want that with soup. Maybe the same as me, you'd prefer some salad. And that has lettuce. Or cabbage is the same sign. And some tomato. Tomato. For dinner or supper, maybe you'd eat meat. Meat. Maybe a hamburger. Hamburger. Maybe you'd like that with some pepper and salt. Oh, sorry. Pepper. And that's a sign for salt. So salt. Maybe you want some vegetables. Vegetables. Maybe some carrots. Or some corn. Or really, this is also the sign for corn on the cob. Maybe you'd like peas. I'm just showing you how I'm making that sign. It's like little bumps on my finger for peas. It's a potato. Potato. Or some onion, and I forgot to finger spell that one, I'm sorry. So that's onion. So all of those foods, the signs, they're all different, but some of them, they kind of match what they look like. For an example, an egg. You can imagine that I'm cracking my egg on the side of a bowl or a pan and it splits open. Or maybe when you think of bacon, what does it look like? Okay, it's that shape, and then it gets all crinkly as you cook it. As well for the sign of peas. Peas are really small and they're like little bubbles, sort of. So you would do those bubbles on your finger. Also, for onion, onions tend to make people cry when they cut them, so that's why it's the sign for onion. Maybe you'd want something for a snack. That's the sign for a snack. Maybe some popcorn. That's the sign for popcorn. Or maybe some chips. Some chips. And really, chips and potato are the same sign. Maybe you want some candy. Or what other ones? Some fruit, perhaps? Maybe you prefer some fruit for a snack or a snack. There's 2 ways to sign snack. There's lots of different signs that you could use. Great. Okay, so now that we're all full, we've finished with the food, we don't have to do any more of that. We'll hold on and we'll maybe do some more later. We're going to be focusing on what? The grammar. What kind of grammar will it be for today? Nouns versus verbs. This is a sign for noun. Noun. Verb is a V across my chin. So obviously the 2 of them are very different, and it's the same in English. But for ASL, normally you would use the same sign. So that can get a little confusing. So how would you show that there's a difference? If you mean the verb or the noun, or what is it that you're meaning? You would normally use the movement of the sign. So, for example, just recently we were discussing food. So food, right? If you have the food, it's a noun. That word is a noun. But the verb eat is different, but it's the same sign. So we have food and eat. Food, eat. So for that situation, food, maybe we tap our chin twice for the food, and that's good. For eat, You would do it again and again and again. Why? Because normally do you just take one? No. Normally you're going to be eating. Okay, so next, for another example, chair versus sit. Chair, sit. Chair, sit. Because if I was to say something like, oh, sit, 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 really, I'm telling the person to sit, 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 sit. And that poor person would have to stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. No, no, we don't want to do that. So this means chair and sit. You would just probably sit once. So for example, I could say, where's my chair? Or I could say, oh, welcome to my home. Do you want to sit down? The movement is different, but really the signs are the same. Okay, so another example is plane versus fly. So plane, that's a sign, and the verb is fly. So for example, if I was to say, oh, I have to go to gate number 12 to find my plane. Yeah, that's fine. But if I was to say, I have to go to gate number 12 to find my fly, that's not really right. You wouldn't really say that. The word fly, like on the other hand, I could say, soon I'm going to be taking a trip to Ottawa and I'm going to be flying. That's fine. That verb fly, remember a couple of videos ago, maybe 2 or 3, just recently, we were talking about directional verbs or moving verbs, and fly is a really good example. So if I was to set up that Toronto was over here, so Toronto's there, so Toronto, and over here is maybe China, like Beijing. I don't know. I was just thinking something. Whatever. So Toronto's there, and Beijing is over here. That means that I would be flying, and it would be a really long flight, like 24 hours. Wow. If I said, oh, Toronto's over here and Ottawa's here, then I could fly really quickly. So it would be a short time, like maybe an hour and a half. So we're now kind of starting to get a little bit into the ASL grammar. And it means that it's going to kind of build up onto each other as we add more. So I hope it's not going to be too confusing. And if you feel like it's really overwhelming or too much and it's just going over your head, I would much rather you let me know. And maybe we can take a few steps back and we can start taking it step by step again, and sort of going through it that way, more slowly and more keeping it more basic. So just let me know. You can email me, you can phone my extension 5357. That's fine. You can contact me, come into my room. If there's no clients here, then that means come on in. Like, that's fine. And you can ask me, no problem. So whatever. Okay, so thank you again for watching and have a really good day. Bye.